Hello, taking a look at your submission here. So, let's take a look. I saw the addendum video, and I sincerely hope I remember to do it when I'm done with this, but I'll probably remember to do it. Yeah, okay, cool. So looking at this, it's
It's
looking pretty good. I'm going to take it in like
I don't
bits,
want these
like
things
normal.
in our home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
Don't speak to me with that attitude.
But I think you're in a good spot. Alright.
Wait.
So I'm going to take it not only in chunks, but I'm going to try to focus on each character individually.
Mom, wait.
Okay, so I like when this kid comes in,
wait.
says, Mom, wait. There's a little something, and this is very nitpicky, about how the hand, let me turn this off so I don't drive myself nuts, how this hand, the screen right hand, like it kind of drops. Ooh, that is not very thick. This, I'm gonna, yeah, we're doing this. This hand drops here, and then it kind of pauses, and then it goes back in there. I'm wondering if that could be made a little simpler. Maybe, let me think about it just for a second, because when I watch it without sound, it doesn't bother me.
Mom, wait. Mom, wait. Mom, wait.
So here's maybe what I would suggest. I like the dropping down a little bit, like it's a relaxation. I suggest that maybe this hand, like you kind of put this arm out a little bit more just in this spot. And I hope I didn't tell you to bring it back in. I really don't want to be like running you around in circles with notes. This is just a suggestion to what you want. You are director. Okay, so we're doing this maybe to start, and then we're dropping into this as like a relaxation, and then this is like a pullback. Small note.
Mom, wait.
It's not super important. I'm gonna focus
Mom,
on
wait.
the mouth.
Mom, wait.
I wonder if there's a way to get more of a compression here, or at least this is the thing. I feel like I'm missing it a little bit,
Mom, wait.
which is always tough when a character is in motion.
Mom, wait.
So here's what I suggest doing to kind of like help make it a little bit more visible. Is on this mom part right here, I would maybe open it more longer if you can. Just do like a bigger mom. That's, I don't know why I'm drawing in the tongue. That makes no sense, but that communicates what? I even like, yeah, this is, but it's great. All right, so not a lot going on there that I think needs attention. I think it's
Mom,
looking
wait.
good.
Mom, wait.
There might be a little something funky happening with the bag here, because the bag kind of like goes backwards and then it goes forwards. So, you know, maybe it just, instead when the body stops here, do a pass where the bag maybe keeps going forward a little bit in this section until it's like in this pose. I don't know if the bag, yeah. It's just a little distracting, but it's not a big deal.
Mom, wait.
I like how you can see the simulation being turned on.
Mom, wait.
On the mom's bows. That's great. Anyways, detail, nonsense detail stuff. So let's take a look at this mom's performance.
I don't want. I told you before.
You took out the head shake, which is fine.
I told you before. I don't
just there's something about the arm, the shoulder drop that isn't quite landing for me.
I told you before. I don't want. I told you before.
I'm trying to figure out what I would suggest.
I don't want. I told you before.
Or why?
I told you before.
I think because it just feels kind of like even. It just goes up and then it goes down kind of in the same amount of timing. I don't know if that's true. Let's see. I'm going to do some frame counting. let's say it starts around here. And this is frame, and sinks here. Here's frame 48. I'm gonna go by that frame counter there. I'm gonna say it's done at 58 with the raise. I'm gonna say it starts to drop here at 62. Let's say it's done here at 68. So it's like 6 frames down, and it looked like maybe 10 frames up. So it's not the same, but it's pretty close.
I don't.
Maybe I would give it a little
I told
bit
you before.
longer on the up. Like make it take longer to come up, and then, but the drop is only 6 frames, so I don't think it makes sense to make that shorter.
I told you before.
I do like it dropping on the
I told you
before. Like I think that's great. So I think I would just start the raise up a little bit sooner. Just to get a little bit more variety in the timing between the up and down. This again is very polishy stuff, but maybe get, maybe instead make it take like 16 frames to raise up or something, like make it slower so you have a little bit more texture contrast there. That's a small thing. Anyways, I'm gonna look at her turn now.
I don't want.
Yeah, that feels really nice.
I don't want.
I like I like the idea behind this hand kind of like dragging, if this is our starting spot here. But it seems to kind of come forward a lot into that drag. So I'm going to delete this drawing because it's nonsense and it's getting in my way. Maybe keep the hand like from going forward as much. Maybe just keep it kind of like where it was, which is still like you're offsetting and doing all, like the idea is the same, that you're offsetting it, but instead of like going forward, it just kind of stays put. Alright, so I'm feeling slightly like the rotation here with what's front is staying kind of locked. So like if this is the center on her belt and the center on her rib cage and the center down her thing, it would be nice if you could have this rotate a little bit ahead. So by this, I mean the rib cage start to rotate a little bit sooner than what the cog is doing, right? So if this is like the cog or her like pelvis, have the ribs start to rotate just a little bit ahead of them so you get some breakup in the torso in that rotation. The kid's step back was really nice. Maybe throughout here the kid's eyes are looking like maybe a little sleepy. So maybe you can like get those lids open a little bit more, and not have them cut so much of the pupil. That'd be my suggestion there. Try to get them a little bit open, especially if they're pulling back, kind of, because they're like, oh crap, she's not calming down at all. You know what I mean? Like a little wide-eyedness, especially during those transitions, may be great. All right, jumping out to the next section.
These things in our home.
Cool.
These things in our home. These things in our home.
Cool. So as far as like this eyebrow movement goes, I feel like it's nice that it's quick. You know, I wouldn't suggest that you like make it take longer, but I do feel like it needs more of an ease out of this. Like it does seem to kind of like slam to a stop. So I'd give it just a little bit more of an ease out, you know, where maybe like you're almost like if this is your final position and this is your starting position, still kind of keep your overall timing. It's just really try to like cushion it towards the top. That's hopefully that's not the drawing I wanted to make. I guess if I was looking at the spacing, like a spacing chart here, and this is like your overall movement, I would keep it as sort of as like, let's see how many frames you take me to do it. I can actually just zoom in here instead of doing some abstract charts and stuff. I don't know where you're starting the lift of the brow. Maybe it's here. Yeah, so maybe this I would in between it slightly. I would give it more of a cushion to come into the top here. You know, have this feel like a nice ease out of that motion, but keep overall like the general timing and everything that you have, because I think it's working pretty well. If this is the first lifting up of the brow, I'm not sure that it is, but maybe you could give a little ease into it by kind of starting to like make it feel like it's being pulled from this area here to get into this shape. Maybe just like one more ease in there. That's a pretty nitpicky polishy thing.
These things in our home. These things in our home.
Okay. Looking at the lip sync on her.
I don't want these things and don't want these things.
Okay. I feel like we're missing a little bit on these. Remember the hotkeys, please, Todd. Once for once.
Don't want these things.
I feel like don't is reading really well. If there's a way, this is just a shape suggestion, if there's a way to kind of pull in this side of the lip to make it kind of mirror this shape over here, I think that would be pretty cool, but I'm not sure that the rig will allow you to do that. But if it does, that would be nice. So these, I would just open it a little bit. Like I feel like the shape is largely the same as what you have. So you have don't want, which is great here. So I say that's great, but then when you go to these, and then you're closed again here, which is good. So I think maybe you just need a little open for these, and then back here. We'll see about things if you're.
These things in our
Yeah, I would go a little bit bigger here too on the open. Like you do have this open here, which this is good, but I would keep opening it like a little bit further so that we see like more space between the teeth for things for like a little bit longer. And then you're good here. So I would just open it a little bit bigger here, I think.
things in our home. I don't.
And then let me see.
Don't want these things in our home.
I would give just a little bit more time, and it's not a lot, to home. So like this is great on the mouse shape. I feel like this comes a little bit early. So I would give yourself another frame or two in the O shape of home before you get to the M.
I don't want these things.
Yeah. But otherwise...
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't.
And then after saying home, it kind of comes out of the M into this shape and kind of freezes. So you may be able to keep her in this M shape a little bit longer, make the transition slower between this frame here, which I really like, and like this frame here, maybe like really extend it. So that can be a slow transition from the M out of the M. So like out of M here. Light green on white. It's never been better. Okay, so let me look at the kid on this
Want
bit.
these things in our home.
I feel like the
I
kid's
don't want these
gaze.
things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want
Yeah.
these things in our home.
The kid like follows down to the comic book, but I would lead this head move down with the eyes, because the eyes don't adjust to the comic book until there. I think it's okay to have the eyes like, and they should shoot down. So maybe just take like 2 frames to move the eyes down to like be focused on the comic here instead of kind of like lingering on the mom. It's not a bad idea to have something linger on the mom while the head goes down, but I kind of feel like in this instant it feels a little kind of like
I don't want these things in our home.
it would be nice. This is a would be nice thing, so like I don't know, but maybe, and it's a pain. Fingers and all that are a pain. I don't know if it's possible for you to like wrap this kind of fingers around so it looks kind of more like a fist around the strap than having the fingers be kind of like open like that. If it's a huge pain, don't worry about it. I don't think it's like a deal breaker or anything.
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our.
Cool.
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't. In our home.
Okay, a tiny spacing note is this gesture of coming off of the hand gesture coming off of the strap and going down. Looks pretty even like throughout. So it might be kind of nice for you to like take the hand off the strap and leave it like almost think of it as like it's not quite 2 moves, but what you're trying to do is kind of like break up the moves, so maybe the hand stays a little closer near the strap to begin with, so that you get a variety of spacing when it goes down into like this. It's more like it's quicker down into this gesture, using the same number of frames that you have there, because I feel like the timing is good, but maybe you push the spacing a little bit more towards the strap, just a little bit, so then when it comes down, it's like it's kind of like a little bit speedier and sharper.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want these things in our home.
Mom!
I don't want.
Okay, cool. Moving forward. Gonna trim off a little in the beginning.
Things in our home.
Mom! Don't make a big
Things in our home.
Yeah. Yes.
Things in our home.
Mom! Don't make a big deal out of this. Mom! Don't make a big deal. Mom! Don't make a big deal. Don't make a big deal. Mom! Don't make a big deal.
Okay, so I'm feeling like there's a chest rotation back here, right? As they're kind of like straightening up and standing up and kind of standing up to the mom. I like all that. But then there's another one when the head goes back here. There's almost like a second rotation back. And I think
Don't make a big deal out of this.
I would make that one thing. So instead of like up, beat, back, not up, but like rotate back. Hopefully that makes sense. But what I'm trying to say is like, it kind of robs from the strength of this gesture because we're not like really seeing the neck go back at all. It feels like it's coming more out of the chest. And I would like to see this gesture here come more just from like the neck and head with a little tiny bit of support from the torso. But right now it almost feels like two distinct moves. Anyways, that's very nitpicky.
Don't make a big deal out of this.
Things in our home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
Things in our home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of
Okay,
this.
cool. One thing I'm feeling is this like little breaking of the wrist here as it goes forward. And maybe you're like dragging the hand, but it feels just a little extreme. So maybe I just back off on that a little bit.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
Things in our home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
Cool. Alright, so looking at the lip sync throughout this bit, it's good. It's super close. When you go into mom, it seems to kind of open and hit like this kind of same level for a while. And I think especially on this mom, I would open it like you are, but then maybe like push it even a little bit more open and a little bit more open, and then start to close it so it doesn't quite like hit and lock in a pose.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this. Mom, don't make a big deal.
And then on deal, I would make it bigger because of when I listen to it, it feels like a bit louder. It feels like you want to give this a bit more like emphasis and punch. So just like make the mouth open more. And you can maybe even make the corners go a little bit more out. But yeah, I would open it a little bit more from the jaw and make the corner go out. I would make deal kind of a bigger word. This feels a little chattery through here. Just because we're hitting this open here, which is fine, but it's like, I think you need to ease out of this open in the next pose. Like this should be an ease out of this big open so it doesn't flash. Well, there's something else going on, let me think. I think when you're going to this out, okay, this is very technical stuff. Like you have this corner that seems to be going from out to in. Here, here, whoops, here. I would keep that corner moving in throughout this. Am I crazy? I feel like my drawings are disappearing. So I like this width here. You start to narrow it, or at least it feels like the narrowing is happening. I really feel like my drawings are disappearing. I would keep it narrowing, like, because from here to here it feels like it doesn't narrow. And then I would keep it pretty narrow into the of, which you're kind of hitting this of. I don't know what this shape is hitting. I think this is the shape I'm having some issue with. without like this should be the TH for the this. So it feels like there's an extra jaw bounce in there to me. So I would just hold it here or around here. And when I say hold, I don't mean like lock it, but we just kind of want to see this expression a little bit more for just like at least one more frame. This looks to be like the TH in this. Yeah, so let's say that this is the TH on this, because it looks like that, and if that wasn't the intention, I think it'll serve like that. So when you go to this S is great, so keep this S, but from the TH, you just need to hit an open shape like this, you know what I mean, and then go into the S and you're home free. That's kind of what I feel. Like maybe there's an extra syllable in there that I don't think that you really need to address or hit. I like this pose. Going from this head, see if you can drag the crown a little bit more, going from this back pose through this. Like, see, right now, I feel like you're like this. See if you can drag the crown of the head more throughout this action. You know what I mean? So, like, rotate the head back, like towards the back of her skull or whatever. Like that back. I think that's like probably rotate X. You know, it's hard to talk about these things in 3D on a 2D image, but that's great though. Okay, moving forward, I think the mom is fine throughout all of
In our
this.
home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
Things in our home.
Mom, don't make a big deal out of this.
This might be a good spot to put a blink on the mom, just kind of keep her face alive. She gets a little dead-eyed throughout this, but maybe like adding a blink here, that's a good spot to add a blink because it's kind of just like some keep alive for her to do during this bit while she's listening. But otherwise, she's looking great.
Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude.
Yeah,
Don't
cool.
speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude.
Yeah, this is all looking great.
Attitude.
I would just say when you bring down her eyebrows, like from here, this is great. But just ease out of this movement a little bit. Just ease out of it until here. Keep using tiny pen. So just soften that landing a little bit, because like this is great, like I said, but it just goes to like its final pose in one frame, and maybe just give it a little bit more frames, you know, to get there.
Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak
Comic
to
book
me with
looks
that
really
attitude.
nice.
Don't
Like
speak
the
to me with that attitude.
Flop on that you got on
Don't
it is
speak
really
to me
great.
with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude.
The kid's step back looks really nice too. It looks like they take a smaller step and a larger step. What I would do on this smaller step is like, yeah, maybe it's hard to tell just because of the arm.
Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me.
Yeah, I would just pay a little bit more attention on what's happening with the hands here, because like they like flip all the way over like pretty quickly. I would think like once this character starts moving out of this pose, I would start flipping the hands, or this hand at least, earlier, so that even by like the end of this first step, it's probably more in like a neutral pose like you were trying to get. You know, it's already like out of the pleating kind of orientation.
With that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude.
And then there is something a little bit about the step where it goes back, and it feels like it hitches or it comes to a stop. It's like translation screen left. And I would maybe keep it translating screen left throughout that, not make it stop so hard. But that's a small little polishing note.
Don't speak to me with that attitude. Don't speak to me with that attitude.
All really cool. Yeah, but it looks like a lot when I look at all the yellow ticks, but I don't really think it's a lot. I think this is mostly like polishy notes. I think you're in a great spot, and I think it's looking really good. So I'm going to take a look at your minion's work. Haha, I'm going to call him your minion. Because yeah, alright. But I was looking at this before, so let's look some more.
No, oh no. Ow. Oh no, oh no.
Alright, so the first thing I feel like is a starting pose is great. You know what I mean? This is strong. If memory serves me correctly, they dropped or bumped or knocked the picture off of the wall, right, to get to here. But what I'd like to see is during this oh no, and feel free to disagree with me, is they kind of go back and up, but they almost start coming forward to like get into this crouch down thing. And I would almost like to see them just do a back and up, like, oh my gosh, what did I do? You know, like, let's look at this horrible thing, where I feel like we're kind of like not really hitting a pose that's different from where they're starting. So we almost kind of want like a new clear pose here that they can like kind of get into and just hold it for like a beat. You know what I mean? So it's just about kind of like maybe getting the line of action to be like a little bit more, back. Like you kind of have here. That they go up and they go back into this position and they just kind of hold it for a second instead of kind of like immediately moving out of it and moving down. There's also a little bit of like crazy rotation stuff happening here that I don't feel is like, I don't understand it. It's kind of like rotation here. So I'd have them go like back up into this pose, which is going to be similar to this pose. I wish there is a way. Copy current sketch. Okay, cool. So I would just have them kind of like live in this oh no thing with them shaking their head. Because that's really nice to see like that fear. Or that like holy crap. I don't know how long to hold it for. I would maybe even like hold it longer and then head into what they're doing, like this kneel down thing. Yep, so that's just the little suggestions there. And then here coming into this shot, I think here, like right at the end, they kind of surge forward. I don't know that I care about that so much, but it would be nice if at the beginning of this shot, so you want to cut, whenever you cut and make an edit, you want to cut on the action, right? Here, we're already like coming into this kneeling position. So maybe we just need a frame of them right before they're done kneeling. You know what I'm saying? So like we're seeing the kneel action complete here. Because that's cutting on the action. Otherwise we're cutting kind of after the action's resolved. That's a horrible drawing, but I think, you know, hopefully you get what I mean when I say cut on the action. Like, we have to cut showing this action complete, not already be completed. And especially here, because like we want to see them start to go down into the kneel, and here we want to see that kneel finish. That's cool and all that. I feel like we need to get a little bit more straight armed than this. Like, the back feels like it's doing more work than us lazy efficient humans would want to do. You know what I mean? So maybe we straighten out the arms more, do a little bit more with the arms than the back. And then when we go into this owl pose, because the finger got cut by the glass, I feel like this one is like kind of not as clear as it could be, right? So I'm gonna make a sloppy drawing, but it doesn't mean that that's what you should suggest that they follow. I'm gonna make a mark here, just kind of mark my frame. But here, let's say, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the anatomy just because of the bag and stuff, but let's say they're reaching down here like this in this bit. Then when we go to here, what I want to see is like they're pivoting around their center of gravity, like their knees are still on the ground, which is, I'm not suggesting that's not what's happening, but they should come up more. And then I really want to see this hand with kind of like the finger be the thing that is clearly staged, right? So then their head is here, and they're fully engaged with like looking at their cut finger. And maybe I'm misremembering like what's happening, but the idea is like you really want to make it super obvious about like what just happened with their, and the clarity here I think could be pushed. So what happens to the other hand, I don't care, but it just shouldn't be in competition with the main, with like this hand and what's going on. So maybe this hand is still, this arm goes like down by the side, but where we want the audience to be looking and what we want them to be understanding is like this recoil back, and then the relationship of like the finger got cut. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this last pose just isn't kind of communicating that as well. You know, like this doesn't have the clarity I think that like we could be getting by keeping stuff in silhouette and kind of eliminating the detail that we don't need. Those are my thoughts on that. All right. But cool. It's got to be fun to see people animating the stuff that that only existed in your head up until this point. Yeah. So good job. Keep up the good work. I hope you get to hit these notes. If you have any questions about any of these notes, feel free to reach out on email or office hours or whatever. Okay.